Okay. So far looking good. Third time's the charm. Oh my god. I had to restart my laptop, redo everything. I have no idea what was going on with my internet. So sorry for anybody who's tuning in on this and was looking at like what was going on. Um, but I'm officially up and running. And welcome back to another video with me, Adontron at NerdTots. And I will be cooking today. Let me lower this a bit. I got some Tech 9 playing in the background here. Um, welcome, welcome. And what do I have on the menu today? On the menu today. Oh, welcome, Rich. Good to see you. Uh, it's been a crazy day. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're doing very well. And today I'm going to be trying to make a soup. And also, I got ribs in the oven. And I'm also going to see about making a pineapple salsa. And maybe some, and a little brunch for myself before my D&D crew gets here. Uh, let's see. Where should I start? The liquid for the soup. By the way, Rich, what have you been up to? Anything new? Has work been good? Are they still trying to steal you for another job? Oh, yeah, this is good. So this, in case you're wondering, remember last time, well, not last time when we were outside, but prior to being outside, we did a garlic honey. And this is the garlic honey. Now, I still have some leftover garlic honey, and I mixed it in with that. So it's a little bit darker. Um, and but it's still fermenting and still getting stuff. But what I want is the honey. Um, I still want the flavor of the garlic, so I don't mind there being garlic in there. But I do want the honey. That's going to be very crucial for what I want to do. Now, the idea for this soup that I'm doing came about because during the week I had leftovers from my barbecue, and I did my ribs had gotten a little bit firm, so I wanted to break them down. So I thought, you know what? Why not make a stew out of it? And as things were coming, I was just throwing stuff in there, and my mom ate it before I did because I made it late at night, and I still, and then by the time I was done, I was like, I lost my appetite. So she actually inadvertently ate it, thinking it was hot and sour soup from the Chinese restaurant. And she came back to me the next morning and she goes, "That hot and sour soup was legit." She's like, "Where did you get it?" And I go, "I didn't. I First of all, I don't know what you're talking about. Secondly, once I figured it out, I'm like, that wasn't hot and sour soup. That was just stuff I threw in the pot." Ooh, yeah. All right. A lot of flavor. I love that. And plus, that was pretty close to the rim. Uh, oh, thank you, Rich. And thank you, Zoe. And I will acknowledge you, Zoe. Technically, setting aside my tech issues, Zoe was first in chat. I had to close down like 2 other videos. That's why it says third is the charm. Uh, oh, you made some new videos for your YouTube channel. Okay, excellent. And then let me add some water in here. If anything, I'm gonna blame my dogs for the first video mess up. As soon as I started the video, everything seemed good, and they started barking, and then everything went haywire. So I blame them. And see here, that's how you know you got the wrong size lid. No, Johnson. And then there we go. So you might ask yourself, like, why is he using honey water? Because uh, when I made the stew, inadvertently, I was transitioning containers and I didn't want to waste honey. So I threw the honey in and put water, mixed the two together, and I used that as the base. And then, there it is. And then I had some bone broth, and I used approximately 1.5 to 2 cups of bone broth, which probably will finish this out. This is about, if I fill this up to the rim, is a cup. So yeah, that's gonna fill this out. And it's in case you're wondering, it's organic bone broth beef. And I promise, Zoe, I will make an admission to come find a recipe that will be perfect for you. So I am thinking of that. Then let's see here. While I have that water coming up to temp, I'm also, oh yes, I got in here some leftover carcass from when I did my chicken and I deboned it. So I am gonna actually toss the spine in this that I had preheating longer than I probably should have, just to get it a little bit searing, and as well as the ribs, because that's all good flavoring, and flavor is key here. And then actually this part I'm also going to toss in here. So I don't have all the same ingredients as I did last time, so this is going to be more makeshift. Oh, this is that. Okay, cool. It goes in. And then here. There we go. And I'm going to take a little of this. Always clean your hands in between. Don't want that cross-contamination. And while I'm at it, I'm going to just clean this too. Got a little bit of blood on this. So did anybody in the chat see anything new? Movies, shows? I know a lot of people that show up in my chat have seen probably Bad Batch, granted, and then probably like Loki. But anything that I haven't seen or you think might be fun to watch? Always looking for something new to watch, especially now that everybody, like my brother wants to do reviews. People asking me for their suggestions on reviews. So I'm always curious now. Now this ham was part of the ham that I made for my father. I just had leftover that I already diced down into chunks. So it's got a lot of fatty skin, fattiness. Just gonna toss this in here. So that's gonna be good. Love those chunks. By the way, Zoe, did you get to watch any of the Indiana Jones? I know you promised you were going to. I'm gonna hold you to it, Zoe. Okay, so I hear Cruella is pretty good. I haven't seen it. Loki. Oh, I do like Loki. Conjuring 3. I'm intrigued. How was Conjuring 3, Rich? Get this. Oh, that's still there. All right. Yeah, that's still sticking. All right, and then. Yep, this is already diced down. Just gonna throw those in there. Ah, okay. So, were you a big fan of the Conjuring franchise? In general? Ah, that's what I was getting at. Okay, very good. I like the way you think. So, like, it is better than the second one. That's good to know. I did like I like the Conjuring franchise overall, but it had highs and lows. So, like, one of them was number two. Number two wasn't as big a fan of myself neither. What up, King Smiley? A POG cooking. All right, so that's gonna have some good seasoning. Never go wrong with some more pepper. That's gonna be good. So yeah, King Smiley, we're talking about recent movies or shows that you may have witnessed that I haven't had a chance to see because I'm intrigued and I'm looking for new content that I want to watch that I will enjoy, or that I could talk about, with my brother and whatnot, and do reviews and so forth like that. There we go. Good. Now this is all going in the pot. This is all going to be cooking. I'm not worried about, like, if it's going to get too dark too much. I'm going to let that cook thoroughly. I just want a little browning in some areas. What's up, King Ghostmare? So for those who don't know King Ghostmare is one of our earlier followers from back, I would say back in our earlier days when we would do a Twitch stream like once a week. And we will be on Twitch just playing a game or talking, mostly playing playing Phasmophobia. And from what I hear, because Ghostmare has connections to some people we know. They're good people. And yeah, Rich, I enjoy a good horror film, absolutely. Uh, but the key is for me is the quality of the horror film, like what type of genre of horror. What's up, Mike? Mm, smelling good. All right. And then, so horror for me, uh, back when I was a kid, I used to love like if it was had gore and startling, like the startle scares. As I grew up, I kind of want to say I refined my taste. I don't mind gore. I enjoy gore. I don't enjoy torture. Like if torture's in the film, that's cool. But if that's the sole thing, that's all it is. That's not a horror film to me. That's just torture. So it doesn't really startle me. It's just I feel like it's not worth it. But like if it has a purpose, then yes, to induce the fear and the tension, not the driving force. Um, Subtle movies that will have like mental horror that I'm more into now. And yeah, King Ghost Mary, you're definitely OG. Let's see. Oh, Rich, you make scary thrillers. Okay, that's awesome. And then let's see. So I can dig a good scary thriller. Like I just watched or rewatched the movie Taking of Deborah Logan. Have any of you seen that? Put a one if you've seen Taking of Deborah Logan. Put a two if you have not. All right, this is going to be good. So I'm going to take this. Here. Leave that there for now. All right. And then, okay, so, all right, so a couple things. One, because Zoe has not seen it, and I'm liking that other people have seen it. So, Taking Deborah Logan is a horror film that is basically it's a like one of those found documentary films, and is like you have these people that go to a house where they're being funded with a grant to monitor a elderly lady that has Alzheimer's, and she's like in the advance, and she's starting out with it, but then her condition escalates, and as they're filming this, unusual events start happening with her and in the house. So it's a horror film based on that. So it's a good time. It is a good time. And what I'm making today is several things. So I'm actually making a soup, or I'm attempting to make a soup that I successfully made earlier in the week by accident. It was literally by accident. And then I'm also have ribs already in the oven. I had prepped them, but I wanted to cook them slow and low, so I wasn't going to be able to film that. I'm going to make a pineapple salsa, and then I'm going to make myself a personal little brunch. So, a little something to eat. And see here. There we go. Take a little bit more water. Go. Oh, there we go. I want to take some of that, loosen that up. All right, and then now, let's see here. Oh, Zoe, you're watching A New Hope. I am proud of you, Zoe. I am proud of you. I will ask for a report later on to see how it is. You know, whether you like it or not, I'm not going to be upset either way. But um, the fact that you watched it is kudos. That earns brownie points. And then see here. Mark on the list of movies finally. Is like, did you know when the kids from no, yes, I did know that Ghost Mare, that when the filming of it, the new one, they didn't show Pennywise to the kids, so they didn't see how he looked. So their first initial reaction to him was a genuine and natural reaction, which I think is good. Um, a lot of directors in horror films have done similar tactics to get more natural responses out of their actors. Sometimes not to their favor. Sometimes they push the envelope. Most famously was The Shining. Uh, Granted, it wasn't a startle thing, but in The Shining, the main actress was kind of pushed to her limit. She was not getting sleep. They kept like antagonizing her because they wanted her to be like withered, as it were. So we're gonna take that, and then see here. Oh, Nick, you also saw Conjuring 3? Cool. Let me see. That may be true that she might be forced to watch the list, but she's acknowledging it. That's the important thing, Phil. And see here. And then see. Which I do not disagree. The first one does have a heavy impact for me. Um, Although the parts with it was executed in, there's pros and cons to the first It. I would say the scariest scene on the first It was the shower drain scene with Tim Curry coming up through the shower drain. That freaked me out for years. And I would say for the longest time, I would not be comfortable like if my foot touched the shower drain or if, it was like directly beneath me. So like low key, I would just not shower directly in front of it. I have no shame in saying that. But I think that's a testament to how good that movie was, in all honesty. So you're talking about It Chapter 2, the new one, Nicholas? Hey, welcome, Stormy. Good to see you here. Oh, and I did promise, Mike, I did promise that I would talk to my friend, and I mentioned that you're dying to get this apron or like a DC version of the apron. Sadly, Mike, that is not. They're not going to be doing any more aprons for now. They have some stuff that come up, and they're not going to be able to set aside the time to make another apron. I have a couple people I can talk to, so I'll keep my. I'm gonna keep you out there. I'm putting out some feelers to see if we can get this done for you, Mike. Don't worry. All right. Because I know you've been talking to your wife, and you said that's not really happening right now. So, and I believe every good cook needs an apron. So, I'm thinking about you, brother. And see, here's the thing, Nicholas. I watched Paranormal Activity. Granted, I wasn't a kid when I watched it. But I was not a fan of it. Oh, stop. All right. And then let's see here. Oh, Rich, it made you scared of clowns? Let's see. Let's see here. I crushed it. Just mince that down a little bit more. Put a little bit of that. Go. Sorry about the silence. All right, I'm starting not to be neat about my cutting here because I know it's all going into the stew. I mean, Ghost Mare, if you summon a ghost and they're still with you, then yeah, that would be concerning. Wait a minute. I never asked Jay how old you were. Piece of advice, Ghost Mare. Watch Exorcist, and then when you're done watching Exorcist, ask yourself, are you still okay if you can still talk to a ghost after that long? That should be a good telltale sign. Wait, your stuff will end up in Goodwill. Oh, she would think Final Destination, the first one, was legit for me. All right, and then we're going to just let this steam for a minute. And then while that's steaming, I am going to take this onion. I don't need that. Like that, because I want to save that for a little bit later. I'm going to chunk this down. All right. See, and that's the funny thing. I know it scared a lot of people with Paranormal Activity. It just never scared me. And if anything, it kind of annoyed me. But like, I dealt with stuff in my past that never really like, you could argue may have been like hauntings or may have been just like my imagination, and I just always had to deal with that, so I became comfortable with it. Case in point, like when I was, I want to say 5, give or take, my mom told me this years later, but she told me when I was around that age, she came into the basement, and we were living in Jersey at the time. And basically what happened was she found me in the corner of the basement, sitting, facing a statue that she had of a Native American. She was big into collecting Native American stuff and paraphernalia. And she remembers that I was sitting there, and it wasn't completely dark, but it was dark enough. And then she was asking like what I was doing, and I was telling her I had made a friend, and I was talking to my new friend. And then, which shouldn't be a big deal, but then she goes and tells me that I'm referring to stuff like what my friend told me, and then I'm telling her bits about American history and stuff that's happened to the Native American people that I should be learning in history class as I get older, and that I shouldn't know at that age. So there was that moment. Uh, there was another moment like where my brother remembers we used to live in a two-story, and I remember him coming into our room. I was hanging out with my mom in her room. I remember him coming in asking like her what does she want, and I think this was all in the same house. And she goes, I didn't want nothing. He's like, and he goes, you sure? Like you like walked across my room like a couple times. She goes, no, I haven't left here. I've been with your brother the entire time. And he was like, you sure? He's like, you were wearing like a white dress and like a white nightgown. She goes, I'm not wearing one right now. He goes, oh, okay. And he just walks out. And I remember that vividly. And then I used to attribute it to like maybe a fear of the dark, but I used to believe that I used to have a trouble, wanting to walk from the kitchen to our foyer where the staircase was, because I used to believe that if I cut out the lights, there was a man with no head that would be he would walk from my basement to the foot of the stairs. So if I didn't move fast enough, I couldn't get up the stairs. Uh, but I digress. Let's go back to the chat here. So let's see. I don't mess with Ouija boards. I don't like messing with that stuff. And although I do like the movie, not the original one, Ouija board, Ouija board, The Beginning of Evil. That I think that's the title, or Ouija board, The Beginning. That's actually a pretty good movie. I've not seen Midsummer. I've been told I must see Midsummer. Yeah, see, Rich, I get what you're getting at, man. And then let's see here, what here, there. That's gonna be there. Ah, now I remember what else I need. I need some hot peppers. I'm gonna use, yeah, I'm gonna use 2 hot peppers. Put this over here. All right, and then hello, Kimberly. Nice to see you in the chat. And then I I have a bad habit of saying the full name when I know it's not your full name that I need to respond to. My bad. Oh, Angel's driving? Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm basically making soup right now, and then I'm gonna be making salsa and brunch and ribs is in the oven. And then let's see here. I'm gonna leave a little bit of seeds. No, not all. Actually, no. I'm gonna take those out because mom's gonna eat this. And then let's see here. Oh, you're. Yeah, you all better be safe. Drive safely now. And then let's see here. And then let's see. Wait, what movie, Nicholas? Are you still talking about see. Halloween still scares you, bro? Okay. The knowing my brother, he's probably talking about the original OG Halloween, not the Rob Zombie Halloween. For those who just need clarity. I remember my godbrother telling me that he was originally scared of the original Nightmare on Elm Street. That had him freaked out for a bit. See. The constant breathing. I find it funny though that they use Sean Connery's face for Michael Myers' mask in Halloween. Star Trek reference. All right. Now, here's the fun part about this recipe. My mom thought it was hot and sour. And she's like, it was perfect. When in fact, I used this. She had no idea. She's not a person of hot sauce at all. She does not like hot things. So the fact that I used the Reaper handcrafted Elijah Extreme father and son handcrafted Reaper sauce, which does have Carolina Reaper in it, and I did not use a small amount. I used a fair amount. That impressed me. Wait, that just splurted on me and everywhere else. Okay. But even though it's a really hot sauce, it's actually very sweet. They use a lot of berries in it. I would say I use about 3 tablespoons. Yeah. And then red plum jam. This goes in the mix too. So that's going to be about 2 tablespoons, or maybe a big tablespoon and a half of the jam. So that's all going to mix. Now I'm going to bring that to a little bit of a boil, and then I'm going to let it simmer for the rest of the time. Oh. There is one more thing I need. So, because I'm trying to duplicate the other ingredients that I don't have, I had my coffee ribs that were in the mix originally. So there was a little bit of coffee into the mix. So I'm going to put like a teaspoon's worth of coffee. I know that sounds unusual, but it's what it was there. Oh. And that. I'm remembering as I go. go. And then we need one sweet pepper. But I don't want to use that one. Do I want to use that one? Let's use this one. All right, so where are we at in the chat? Killer clowns are the worst. So Kim does have a fear of clowns. So she's not a fan of it. She's not a fan of Killer Clowns from Outer Space, which, by the way, is not that scary of a film, but I do love Killer Clowns from Outer Space. It's just a kid's classic to me. I just love that film. Oh, good luck shopping, bro, for your UFC pay-per-view tonight. I won't be able to watch the UFC pay-per-view because I will be doing D&D tonight, bro. So good luck shopping. Hope the fights are good and hope they live up to the matches. Oh, Antichrist is the scariest film you've ever seen. It's not into the graphic novels. Oh, I don't think I've seen Antichrist. I've seen Rosemary's Baby. I've seen like Omen, and I've seen the sequel, which I think was called Damien. So I would be willing. Is Antichrist a classic or is it more recent? One of my favorite classic films to watch is called Burnt Offerings. You can find it on YouTube, by the way. Burnt Offerings. My godfather turned me on to it. It was a movie he watched back in the day. He went and saw it in the drive-through or drive-in, and he said that movie was one of the only movies that when he got done watching it, he would look in his rearview mirror because he would feel freaked out. And the general concept was like it was a family that was taking care of an elderly woman in a mansion, but things were starting to happen in the mansion that were like, for lack of a better term, were attacking the family. And as things were progressing, the house was like either deteriorating or healing itself. I can't remember. But I watched it and I liked it actually. All right, just put this spoon over there. There we go. All right. So now that that's going to simmer and I get that reduced, now it's going to be the fun time. Cheetos versus Doritos. All right. I saw Caroline for a kids film. Caroline is actually pretty creepy. I'm not gonna lie. Wait, if it's 2009, I don't consider it classic, only because it's too recent. For me, classics you're looking at maybe 1990s or older. Typically, I would go 1980s and older as classics. It's like how you gauge a car. Like you wouldn't consider a car to be a classic if it was 2009. You would consider a car to be maybe a classic if it's like beyond like maybe 30 years or older. I mean, I'm assuming that's how you would identify the term. I'm not a car guy. I appreciate them, but I don't know the terms. But I think that's how it goes. Oh, Ghost Clowns is about four male 24-year-olds who goes into a haunted house to spend the night. And you were one of them? Oh, you were in that film? Yeah, I was gonna say like if it's online that we can watch it, that'd be dope. Hmm. I used to hate pineapple. Now I'm okay with it. Jay is going to be on this. Well, he's not going to be on this live stream. We're going to be recording. Oh no, I don't think Jay's coming tonight. So we're going to be recording in our D&D today, but I don't think Jay's coming tonight because I think he's stuck working. If he comes tonight, that's be even better because that'll just make it smoother. No, we got a stream we're gonna do Wednesday. So he wants to do a cooking stream with me, and I told him like I'm down. I'm down to cook with him. By the way, I'm not sure if this is the best way to peel a pineapple. I am like 50 to 90% sure this is probably the worst because I feel like you lose most of your material. Hmm. Yeah, that has some skin on it. Oh, it went on the director's show. That sucks. Wow. That's a shame. Let's see here. Nicholas, you only like dried pineapple? I'm gonna like dried pineapple is good. Super, super sweet. Um and then I've had grilled pineapple, which it's good, but somehow it doesn't I don't appeal to it as much as a lot of people do. But because I think I'm a fan of sweet and spicy, I think it will be good as a salsa. Because I know people that have done like mango salsa and stuff like that, and I've heard of like pineapple salsa, but I'm not really going by a recipe for this pineapple salsa, really. Just like all my cooking, I wing it. I do it from scratch. Well, that's not true. That's not true. Um, my waffles that I want to do today, I'm gonna be cheating the hell out of that. And I did cheat a little bit for the pizza because I did have one set that was pre-made dough. So I retract my statement. And then see here. Clean this up a bit. Huzzah. All right. So wait. Oh, because the animals. So they wouldn't give you a copy. Um, well, that makes me wonder because like I remember when they did Fantastic Four, not the one that everybody saw, but I believe it was Fox that had Fantastic Four first. Before the one that everybody is familiar with came out, they did do a movie. And they did that movie just so they could retain the rights of Fantastic Four. And it was supposed to be shelved and not see the light of day. But somehow it got sneaked out and it ended up on the circuit with a lot of like convention circuits. And then Fox just said, "Screw it, we're gonna do an actual Fantastic Four movie with Jessica Alba and all them." I'm not a big fan of mango neither, Nicholas. What's up, Tony? And then let's see. I would say, what did I forget? Oh, so I was a fan. I'm not a big fan of Saw. Like, I enjoy the first Saw very much. I liked it a lot. But the other Saw movies, I was never a big fan because I could predict it. I got good at predicting the ending, how it was going to play out. So it lost its magic for me. But of that series, I know it's not official, but then they had The Collector that came out. And I did enjoy The Collector a lot. And then, of course, they did a sequel called The Collection, which I also enjoyed as well. The only problem is, now in Collection, I don't believe this is an issue, but in The Collector, this was an issue. Because I had a friend that wanted me to introduce them to horror films. And they're like, I want to see this horror film. And then we started watching The Collector. And I forgot that there's a scene where a cat dies. Because it's all about traps that are set up. And the cat falls into a trap. And it dies fairly gruesome. And I got forbidden from ever recommending horror films again. So I'm no longer allowed for my friend to suggest a horror film. Not without extreme review first. So I laughed about that, but it was like, it was with a group of people, and it was like all girls, and they were just there. I was helping them move, and we were taking a break, and they were like, "No, you're no longer allowed." So I got revoked. What up, Comics Club? And see. Oh, okay. I mean, that's very sad, Rich. They passed like that. All right, so I'm gonna use this. I think this is gonna be. I think that's gonna be good for now for the salsa, because I don't want to make too much as a salsa, just because I don't know if they're gonna like it. But I am gonna dice the rest because I am put stuff for. All right. So this is getting diced because this will be used in my house. My mom loves pineapple. By the way, in case you're wondering, she is not here right now because she had a function that she needed to go to. So she could not participate in the background. I know y'all like her. And she likes y'all. There we go. So the salsa is going to be sweet and spicy, Phil. The sweetness is going to come directly from the pineapple and with a touch of acidity. But I am going to incorporate some jalapenos with some seeds and some other ingredients into the mix. That's going to bring up the heat for us. And then I'm doing it earlier because they don't come here for a couple more hours, because in case you don't know, you let it marinate, that heat's going to travel better and it's going to be nicer. Oh, Ghost Mary, you're having some hot wings. Nice. Oh, that reminds me. So I went to a hot wing place that opened down the street from me. They've been open for a minute, and I forget what it was called, but they had their like nuclear wing, sauce or whatever kind of super hot sauce that they were advertising. So I wanted to try their wings. So I ordered a couple different flavors. They had like a Korean barbecue spicy wing or whatever, and a couple other ones. And I said, give me the hottest hot sauce that you have, that nuclear one. I want to try that out. He's like, give me a 4-piece of that. And the girl looks at me without blinking. She goes, "Are you sure?" And I go, "Yeah, I'm absolutely sure." She's like, "I don't think you're ready for it." And I'm like, first of all, young lady, I I have not met you before in my life. You have never met me. How do you know I'm not ready for this? And she was a young girl. She's like, "Oh, you just look like I'm just want to make sure that you're okay with it." And I'm like, "Okay, I can handle some hot sauce." And then in the background, we had this old timey customer who was waiting for his order. He's like, "Oh, that girl just tried you, boy." And he's just sitting back there laughing. I'm like, listen, I didn't mess up my order. I know what I want to order. She's like, how about I give you a taste? So I'll give you a sample. I'm like, you can give me the sauce. I'll try. I'll go raw with the sauce. And she's like, okay. So she gives me like one of those little sippy cups or sample cups, and she gives me like this little tiny spoon or toothpick so I can try it. And then I'm like, fine. I do the toothpick. It's got heat and it's good, and it picks up the heat. But then I just like take the entire thing and down the entire thing. She's like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And I look at her, not even sweating yet. I go, "I'm perfectly fine." And she's like, "I think you're putting on a show." I'm like, "Sweetie, if I was not okay, I would not be putting on. It would be a show at that point." And she's like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, don't try me. And the funniest thing is, like, I found that the Korean garlic barbecue ribs that they had more of a kick of a heat than their hot sauce. Like, it's just, for me, if you're just pure heat, it's not going to be as good. You can power through pure heat sometimes. Not all the time, but you can. You need something to carry it. So that's where the flavor's at. All right, now that I'm done ranting about wings, got some pineapples cut down for my mom. She'll be happy with that later. Seal that up. Clean my hands. Oop. Rinse this down a bit. All right. And then, let's see. Oh, yeah, I agree. It may have been too hot for the girl herself. But never judge a book by its cover is the lesson of that story. Much less when the book is moi. This is a graphic novel. Omnibus. Do not underestimate it. All right, so I'm going to do... I don't know if my friends like... I don't think my friends like onions, so I'm going to mince these down really nice and thin into the little cubes so that they're not going to be able to tell so much. But I love me some onions in my salsa. Now, I'm not good enough with the knife work to be like, I will lose a finger, 100%. Or there will be some nails in here. And no one wants that. Like, my father is not big into onions. My dad actually hates onions. The only time he makes an exception for onions is like Philly cheese or like a something where it's sauteed a lot and it's cooked into it. That's the only time he makes an exception for onions. And then we're gonna use. I think I'm gonna use. I might use all these. I'll leave one aside. All right, so I'm not gonna put any tomatoes into the mix because I'm gonna use peppers for the color. And then see here. Ghost. I got you, Nick. I got you. Nick, are you talking about this? Let me see. Wait, probably better if I did this. There you go. Ghost pepper cheese with Monterey Jack and jalapeno habanero and ghost peppers. Have I ever tried that? No, but I have that sitting there because I am going to try that. What up, Steph? In case y'all haven't saw it, Steph and I did a collab video earlier today where we watched the second part of the Devilman OVA series. So we watched Devilman Demon Bird. It was not quite Steph approved, but it was on the verge. So it adjusted my. I use that as a litmus test. So the last 3 videos where we watched anime was a litmus test to get a feel of what would be Steph approved. But that's like anything. If I have a friend that I want to introduce to anime, I want to look at what they are watching, how they respond to it, and then that lets me adjust to what they will like. And I feel like I'll be more confident with that. I've never played Five Nights at Freddy's. I hear that's really good to play. A lot of fun. And knowing my friends and me, we will scream. I've screamed playing Devour. I don't think I've screamed that much in Phasmo. I've more been frustrated. And I just downloaded Lunch Lady. So I'm going to talk to my friends to see if they will download Lunch Lady as well. So we're going to probably end up playing that as well. You and 4 of your brothers have played it. Oh, nice. Okay. I'm going to try dicing these jalapenos fairly small chunks. All right. Mm-hmm. Just gonna have a lot of jalapeno peppers. I could always add more. Yes. I want those peppers to really be in there. Go crazy. All right, and what is he? Will Morris. He was technically here, just on the Wi-Fi. Okay. Wait, what's on the PlayStation? Is it still Five Nights at Freddy's is on PlayStation now? I don't have a PlayStation. My friends asked me. I asked my friends like, which game system should I get, and a lot of them said I should get the PlayStation 5, but none of them were giving me like. They were all saying just so I can play with them, and I need more. So I ended up with the. No, they wanted me to get the PlayStation 4. Let me correct that, and I needed more at the time, so I went with the Xbox. They were so pissed. They were literally like, why are you going to bother asking us if you're going to just get the opposite? All right, so I saw this trick on online. I think it was Chef PK that was talking about like how to get the maximum or the most of your pepper when you're dicing it. And you're supposed to like the top and the bottom, you technically can scrap, but you're supposed to open it up and then you can just like go through and scrape out the rest essentially. Actually, this not that bad. I probably should use a smaller knife, which I know I do have. There we go. That's actually pretty good. Look at that. I'm damn proud of that. Look. That was a pepper. Oh, give you a call at the store about the interview on Tuesday. All right. Let's see here. Yes, Zoe, I am playing D&D tonight. To my knowledge, we're not streaming. If it is, we'll put a notice out there. I know my system will be able to handle it, but I don't know if we're going to be able to do more, if we're going to do more cameras. So if we're doing more cameras, then it might be debatable there. But tonight, we are filming. So one way or the other is going to be either recorded. If not, it will be live. I actually would be down for a live stream. I've been pitching that idea to everybody for a hot minute. And it's on our main campaign, Rods of Dominion. So right now we're like 11 episodes into the Rods of Dominion. And we've had some shoddy videos where we lost content, had some audio content messed up. But I'm liking how the story is coming along so far. And I'm kind of enjoying my character growth. Plus, I got to kick Jay's ass. Ghost Mare, if you're still there, I kicked your JJ's ass a couple times. I know it's his character, but it was still fun. It was a good moment. And then it was just it's D&D is such a fun thing, and it's crazy to me, like the stigma it gets. And was it? I was laughing the other day because I keep mentioning to my brother that he should play D&D because he's actually done acting. My brother has done acting. He's done like acting in like small roles in theater. He's done commercials. He's done like model work, all that. But he's never had an interest in D&D, which blows my mind considering the fact that he's also into comics, anime, and all the same stuff that I am into. And I keep telling him, I'm like, bro, you need to expand your horizons. D&D is right up the alley that you need to go into. It's fantasy, but it's also like role play. It's a good time. He's like, he just doesn't understand it. I'm like, neither did I. I did not understand it as well. But it takes the willingness to learn to understand. And then you get to experience a whole new world with this game, this franchise that is D&D. Also, fun fact, one of the creators of D&D lived his life like a freaking rock star. And when I say lived his life like a rock star, pretty much exactly like a rock star. You know, after he created D&D and it blew up, that guy pretty much was partying every night. He was going out, taking like illicit materials. And then also, I think it was after his divorce. After he got divorced, he was having like a new supermodel every night or something on that, attached to his arm. He lived a life like Bruce Wayne would live if Bruce Wayne's parents never passed away. Let's put it that way. What's up, Boonda? Good to see you here. Sorry I didn't see you right in the initial, but good to see you here in the chat, man. I would say we are cooking right now. I'm trying to make a salsa. So I got stuff in the mix here. I'm just dicing down this. I have extra. And then I have soup on the oven or the stovetop. I have ribs in the oven with a little bit of chicken. And then I'm going to be making some eggs, bacon, some fish, and some waffles. And that's going to be for me to eat. This is going to go in a jar to sit and marinate. I think Zoe's still here. We missed you last night, Boonda. Don't think I didn't notice you weren't there. So, just letting you know, I missed you there, man. And then... This is not the lid, but... All right. So that's coming together, I think. I'm going to put a pinch of salt. Because the salt's going to add to that flavoring. And then some black pepper. Get that hit there. And just in case, a couple flakes of red pepper. All right. Linda, you don't have to apologize, man. I can't expect you to be there every time. That's all good, man. All right, that's starting to come along. The sweetness is definitely there. You can smell the pineapple. So it's not being overpowered by everything else. And then I want to incorporate this sweet pepper too. This is going to be split amongst two areas though, because I have a lot more salsa than I anticipated. So I'm going to just put this in the soup as well as there we go. Mm-hmm. There we go. So I went on a couple tirades. Anything you guys have questions about that I promised that I didn't answer, or oh, hold, bear with me one moment. What's up, brother? I got you. I'll send that right now. You're welcome. Sounds good to me. All right. Bye. All right, Bunda. That was your favorite person on the internet. Just making sure he'll be able to get here. So I just gotta send him my address on that. Because he's joining me for D&D tonight. There we go. Normally, I don't type out my text. I'm very lazy. Normally, I do voice to text, but this is the internet, and you shouldn't put that out there. There we go. All right. So we got coming over for D&D. We have Damien. We have John. We have our DM Brent, or AKA Abraxas, AKA Dungeon Daddy. And then myself. And Jay is unfortunately not going to be able to make it. So he's going to be working, doing his thing. Put that there. Put that there. And if I need to make this hotter, I can make this hotter. But that's going to be more than enough. There we go. And then this, I'm going to use to go with my black tar of a soup that I just looked over and like, ooh, that is a lot darker than I remember. But I also made a smaller batch. Plus, I didn't use mushrooms last time, so the mushrooms probably added a lot of dark color, earthy color to the mix. Right? So the funny thing is, I've had the ribs cooking at around mid 200s for a slow low for the last few hours. So since everybody's getting ready to come by, now I'm gonna ramp up the temperature, so that way they'll get really cooked, and then near the end I'm gonna like uncover them so they crisp up. By the way, if you're doing ribs in the oven, I kind of like this, the Weber dry rub for smoking and barbecuing. It's kind of sweet, a little bit salty. I kind of like that mix. I have my own homemade mix that I use, but I don't have all the ingredients, so I couldn't bestow my homemade dry rub mix. Next time I do that ribs, I'll do that for y'all. And then let's see here. I will do this. Let me just cut this open here. For you, Nick, if you're still in the chat, I'm going to try this. The ghost pepper cheese. That's just delicious. That's not hot at all. Oh yeah, no, I didn't start the ribs when I started my stream, Bunda. Those ribs have been cooking before I started my stream. 100%, guaranteed. Let's do a little bit of oil. I want to cook that out. Then we take this. Move that oil around a little bit. Maybe a smidge more oil. There we go. No, you know what? I agree with you, Bunda. See, I know this is a touchy subject, especially for my my Texan viewers here. How do you like your ribs? Okay, this is gonna be an excellent question. Before I give my answer of how I like my ribs, and I may have leaked this answer of how I like my ribs last time I did grilling with the ribs last week, but put a 1 if you like your ribs to be firm, like to the point where when you bite, it leaves a bite mark on your rib. 2, if you like your ribs to be soft enough where like you can pull the rib off the bone, but but it still holds to the bone. You have to literally put some effort to pull the two together. Or 3, if you just prefer to fall off the bone, like you just like as soon as you put a fork in it, it just separates. Let me know what your take is for those kind of ribs. Okay, we got a 2. We got a 3. We got 3. Okay. And nothing wrong with these answers. These aren't wrong answers. There's just like, lets me know the people's mindsets. Let's see here. Because I personally like 3. I love it when I can have a rib and it just falls to the bone. So, sometimes, you know, you don't need it on the bone, man. You know, you're chewing into it, or you just pull that bone off. If you have a nice piece of toast, you put that on the toast. Ah, delish. And then we're going to take this. I'm going to do this for my mom. Heard? Ain't nobody. Yep. Down on the sound, baby. All right, we're going to do that. A little bit of rub. that on. A little bit of rub on that. Rub on that. Very good. And then see. See, okay, so it's fairly consistent. Most people like it the same way that I like my ribs. And you know what? The only way you can get that is you gotta do it slow and low. Slow and low, let it ride. And then you get that little bit of extra bark at the end when you raise that temperature up. That's the best way to do it. That in there. This is gonna be for my mama. Make her some soul fish. Put that there. Oh, by the way, you'll all be excited for this. So, because of what we're doing for the D&D, I got out my green screen. It's in the dining room. I'm gonna be setting that up with Damien. But once that's done, it's going right into my bedroom. It's just gonna be set, so I don't have to worry. That thing is gonna be good to go. So come Jean-Claude Van Johnson, we will be watching with me with a green screen. It will be good. And then take this. There we go. Wait, your growling is worse than your bark? Or, I'm confused. All right, so we're gonna do this. All right, we're gonna use this. Another one. And then we're gonna do this. Yeah, that'll make sense. That'll work. All right. Rich, what are you growling at, man? Love you very much. I love you very much. That night experience. Do one of these with. I'm gonna try to do it like a bacon weave. And then we're gonna do this. And we're gonna wrap that around there. And then we're gonna take that. And then we're gonna take that. There's a method to the madness of what I'm doing right now. So I'm gonna see about taking one of these bad boys. I'm gonna fold it into the bacon weave that I just made. So there is a logic to this. And then of course extra bacon. What can go wrong? All right, that's Danny Browning. That's gonna be looking good. Man, what we're gonna do is take some eggs. Well, let me move this aside because I don't need this right now. I'll need that in a minute or two. There we go. And then what we're gonna do, I'm gonna whip some eggs. Three eggs. There we go. I prefer my eggs to be room temperature. These were in the refrigerator earlier, so they are just now hitting like room temperature because I pulled them out right when I started. Well, actually, no, they were kind of already here, but are not fancy where I could do it one-handed. Well, let me try. All right, let's try this. That was, oh, one-handed. A little bit of splatter on the table, but there's nothing wrong with a little, spillage. Sometimes, for the things you love, you gotta let it be messy. Just be messy. Then get that good whip. And then we're gonna leave that. I'm gonna hit that again in a little bit. This is nothing wrong eating breakfast at dinner. Yeah, I am making a lot of other stuff. So this is pancake waffle mix. It's complete butter pancake waffle mix. The reason why is in a potato salad container. Yes, it's a potato salad container. It's because my mother. Because I made pancakes and waffles one time, and I left the box. And my mom doesn't like having things and in the original boxes. She likes to condense them. So she put the powder mix in here. I don't even know if this is all pancake powder or waffle mix. It could be mixed with other stuff. And she's like, it's complete. All you need to do is add water. And I'm like, how do you know? Did you leave the instructions to the powder mix? And she goes, no, I did not leave the instructions. I just left the label so I know what it is. And my mind is going as it always does. I'm wondering to myself, this is going to be a disaster. So I don't even know what's the ratio right now that I'm supposed to be doing. But this is happening. Speaking of happening, my bacon leaf is asking and begging for me to do this. All right, I'm going to do the small one. Put that right there. Oop, hot. Mm-hmm. Yep, I'm going to do it like that. All right, we're going to take this, and then we're going to go like that. And then we're going to take this. Hey, this is going to be a messy disaster. I'm okay with this. You don't learn until you experiment. Oh, Phil, you got a date with your lady. Awesome. Enjoy, man. there. There we go. Slap that on there. All right. So now that's just a lot of bacon slapped onto a pan. But that's just for the fun of it. I really just wanted to explore. All right, so basically I'm going to start with a fair amount of water in here. Make sure this is thoroughly stirred. With waffles, if memory serves correct, I want it to be fairly runny. My pancakes, I like it to be thick. Like, more than cake mix thick. I like it to have a firmness to it for my waffles. I mean, other way around. I like a firmness to it for my pancakes. My waffles, I like them to be light and crisp and fluffy. There we go. There we go. Aha. There we go. Plus, I'm not really too worried about the bacon because what I'm going to do is I'm just going to toss the eggs into the bacon fat that's mixed there and just use that as my lube for the eggs. All right, let's see here. And then see here. Everybody's having date nights but me. I'm feeling jealous, guys. Which is so funny because, like, I'm always cooking. And it's always, like, for me or others. There we go. I could use some more. And then let's see here. This is a little bit more watery than I want, so we're gonna put some more. I don't mind if I make a little bit extra more than I want, because that's just gonna be used for breakfast the next day. I think that might be just a smidge more. I think we're almost there. I think I'm almost there, guys. Or people. My peoples. You haven't had a date in 3 years, Rich? That's okay, man. I haven't had an in-person date like that in like 2 years. So I'm trailing you, brother. I'm trailing you. But you know what? I say like this. There's nothing wrong with not getting dates. You know? If you want to date, you date when you're ready. Just don't date to date. You know? Because if you date to date, that's how you end up with drama, or you end up with people that are not good for you. You date when you're ready and you want to, experience with other people. At least that's how I look at it. You know? And then on top of which, it's all, and it's not for everybody in the sense that it's not all about dating to find a long-term relationship. And that's what I mean by that. I know people that they will date others, and I'm talking about on a personal aspect. I know people that will date other people, not because they are looking for a long-term relationship, but they are looking to experience relations with other people and experience activities with other people, And this is why they choose to date. But if you are choosing to date for other reasons, not because you are out and wanting to expand your relationships or like have experiences, just because you're trying to fill a void in yourself, or that's where I would say you may not be ready. If you're trying to date because you're feeling like you need to fill a void, accomplish something that you weren't getting on yourself for your own well-being, then you're dating for the wrong reasons. At least that's how I look at it. You went out with an old ex, not a nice. Yes, that's another thing. I've never had a. I would never say it's wrong to date an ex, but I would say not all exes are ideal to go back to. They're exes for a reason, but sometimes it's okay to compromise. Okay, so sorry, I just realized this as soon as I poured it. So what was in this jar was a syrup that I made that had it was a little bit too thin. That I'm gonna thicken up. It was with maple syrup, bourbon, jalapenos, and black cherries. I just needed to thicken it up, really cook it out. Okay, I'm getting some ingredients going on. I'm having some flavors. All right. And, all right. So I'm thinking this is gonna be about ready to pop any second. That's that's coming along. And then that's gonna be like stuff for my mom to eat when she gets back home. You were rebounded without thinking. Now she was nice. Hmm. Um. So I would say in my past history, Tales of the Exes, I have considered myself a habitual monogamous relationship kind of person. Like I would jump into a relationship and I would be in that relationship. And I was long term. I was never like the short term fling kind of guy. Um, I never liked that idea for myself. For myself, that is. And I mean, as far as my type, I never really considered myself to have. Damn, this was a fit. See, this is why I follow instructions. But I'll show you. I'll show you. That's a. Okay, so this this looks ridiculous. All right, this is why if you're gonna use like an instant mix, you best follow instructions. And but I don't have instructions to go by. This looks like the skeletal structure of a waffle, but not a waffle. It looks like a waffle skeleton. Which, if this was Halloween, that'd be a fun reference. But no, it's not. Not Halloween. I'm gonna have to play with that powder mix to really make that work, which I don't have the time right now to do. I'm gonna do that on my own time. And then next time, I'm going to do real waffles for all you. Proper waffles. But what was I going to say? Oh, yes. My type. I never really classified myself of having a type, as it were. And reason being is because I was a I preferred qualities. Like the face needs to be there. You need to have like a pretty face, good face. Um, I've dated thick women. I've dated thin women. I've dated darker skin. I've dated lighter skin, Latinas, Asian, white girls. Gone out a couple times with black girls. My first girlfriend in middle school, my first girlfriend ever was in middle school. And she was a black girl. And I didn't even want to, technically in middle school, I was like, I didn't even technically want to date her. She wanted to date me. And I said, okay. That's literally how it went. She's like, you want to be my boyfriend? I was like, yeah, sure. And I remember breaking up with her because my brother was substituting at the same school. And she started joking about how fine my brother was. And like, is he single? And stuff like that. I didn't find that funny. So I ended up breaking up with her right after she was like making those jokes. Like, I'm like, haha, haha. I'm like, hey, we need to talk. That was my first girlfriend back in the day. But I digress because I'm getting off subject. I like nerds, nerdy girls. I like girls who are smart, that make me laugh, that are affectionate with attention, and that are like challenging in the sense that I feel like I will learn things with them. You know, that I will experience new things in general, and that but are not gonna be like, hard to say. I've dated ones that are like controlling, narcissistic, seeking fights. I've dated all those types. I've dated abusive ones, and so it's like the exact opposite is what I would look for. I would say, you know, and even if the person's not really aware of like themselves, or if they're still learning, if they are aware of themselves and they're trying to learn to improve themselves on certain aspects, I can respect that. So as a person that I can respect, a person that I would want to grow with, basically. I'm rambling, I know. Um, Parlay Clippers 22 payout on 130. Oh, okay. It'll scare me plenty. Give me a piece. Wait, are you saying I should give a piece to the dog? On that cue, so on that note, I'm gonna wrap this up. It's been a blast. The dogs are going crazy. Everybody, thank you so very much. And as always, continue watching anime, expand your minds, and just be excellent. Laters.